Shazam! Fury of the Gods is now in theaters. But does this movie have the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of... Well, you get the picture. I'm Emily from Does It Hold Up, and as a fan of the first one, I was excited to see if this one would be just as electrifying. Zachary Levi is back as the titular hero in the sequel, and with the help of his family, he must fight off the daughters of Atlas, who have come to take the powers from the Shazam family. We spend almost the entire time with Shazam in this movie, because it seems like the writers completely forgot that Billy Batson exists, which is a shame, because I thought Asher Angel is really good in that role. Sadly, we only get maybe 10 minutes of total screen time with him. They went all in on only showing the superhero. Speaking of the heroes, Billy's family still has their powers, as seen at the end of the first Shazam, but it doesn't seem like anyone outside of Freddy, Jack, Dale, and Grazer, wants to keep it the hero game. Freddy in this one takes the fast-talking, loud-screaming, annoying characteristics from the first, turns them up to 11, and it gets grating as it gets late into the movie. The rest of the gang are all growing up and growing apart. Something that works well among the heroes is a concept that some time has gone by since the original, a few years at least, which is a nice touch to their dynamic. We get a great introduction to Hespera, Helen Mirren, and Calypso, Lucy Liu, the daughters of Atlas. As the first scene in the movie, it's an excellent start, with great horror vibes that really show the powers they have and the threat that they can be. But after such a wonderful beginning with them, they seem to lose focus as the movie progresses. They become hyper-fixated on a shared idea until the inevitable conflict arises between them. Both Mirren and Liu are completely wasted in this movie, as they have very little to work with from writers Chris Morgan and Henry Gayden. Generic one-note villains are not a step up from Mark Strong's strong performance as Dr. Savannah in the predecessor. The story from here feels very messy and rushed. It's almost like they had too many ideas, and with the ever-changing landscape that is the DC universe, they had to put as much into the story as they could fit. Unfortunately, this doesn't work, and it makes the movie feel disjointed. A love story, family problems, losing superpowers, recreating a whole new world, and more makes up this movie, even though just half of those things would have filled the 2-hour runtime. Shazam 2 is visually better than the first, but there is still something off about what we're seeing on screen. There are moments when the CGI all blends very naturally into the world, but then 5 minutes later it looks like a cutscene from a bad video game. In fact, the mythical creatures brought to life here may be worse than the 7 Deadly Sins were 4 years ago. If that isn't an indictment on the quality of some of the visuals in the sequel, I don't know what is. The biggest issue with this movie is a lack of breath between scenes and in moments. There are so many jokes that land well, but by the time you finish laughing, you've missed 5 other things said, because this movie has a big pacing problem. And it's not just the jokes. Serious moments are also given no time to sink in, because everything feels rushed. Maybe this should have been 2 separate movies so that storylines would have had more time to grow. Overall, this was a decent second outing for Shazam, but it lacked the heart, comedy, and emotional core of the first. I'm not saying it was a bad movie by any means. I actually enjoyed it and found myself laughing quite a bit in the theater. I just wanted something more. I don't know how well this movie is going to perform because of the deconstruction of the DC universe, but if you liked the first one, you'll find enough to like in this second one as well. We give Shazam! Fury of the Gods a solid B. And to finish up this review, I'm just going to list a few things without context. Bad and good. Batman v Superman Fake Out, Mirror Dimension, Amazon, and Skittles. That last one might be the dumbest thing in this movie. And if you're confused by these references, you'll get them after seeing Shazam 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!